Welcome back to The Ed Show. Now, this hasn't happened since 1962, but Republican John Kasich of Ohio is using history as his governing guide. He's on track to become the first Ohio governor in nearly a half a century to appoint an all-white cabinet. And in the battleground story tonight, when approached about his administration's lack of diversity, Kasich tells an African-American state senator, quote, "I don't need your people." In a moment, that Senator, Nina Turner, will join us. Out of the 23 cabinet members Kasich has named so far, only 5 are women with 0 persons of color. Needless to say, the Fox News host turned governor has maintained that pursuing diversity is not a top priority.
We pick people on the basis of who's qualified. We don't pick them on the basis of quotas. I mean, I think quotas are yesterday.
And so the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus met with the governor, offering to help Mr. Kasich to find quality, diverse candidates for his administration since he was having so much trouble. Here's State Senator Nina Turner describing his reaction.
In that same caucus meeting, when I said to the governor, if you need help, we can help you. And he said, and I quote, "I don't need your people." Now, as an African American, I was kind of perplexed about, I don't need your people.
Kasich's office confirms the Ohio News Network the governor did, in fact, say that. But when he told Senator Turner, "I don't need your people," he didn't mean African Americans. He meant Democrats. Yeah, that's it. Democrats. The problem is Kasich already has a track record in dealing with this kind of stuff. This is the same guy who signed a resolution honoring Martin Luther King on St. Patrick's Day. This is the same guy who skipped an event in memory of Dr. King, angering many of the state's minority leaders. And he's only been in office for 22 days. Joining me now, as promised, is Ohio State Senator Nina Turner. She's a Democrat representing Cleveland and Ohio's 25th Senate District. Senator, good to have you with us tonight. Glad to have you on this program on this subject. Do you buy the governor's statement that when he said, "I don't need your people," that he meant Democrats?
Not at all, Ed, and as you played the clip, I was really perplexed. I was not sure whether or not he meant my people as in my ethnic group or my people as in the 350,000 constituents that I represent in the 25th Senate District of all ethnicities and religions. So I was very, very shocked at that statement. And as you provided that information, he will be the first governor since 1963, if he continues on this course, not to have a diverse cabinet. You know, diversity is really not about quotas. It should be something that is very, very important to this governor. Diversity is our strength. And to frame the hiring of minorities, people of color, Asian, Latino, and other folks of color, in terms of quotas, makes it seem like that no minority is qualified to work in his cabinet based on their merits. This is a fair thing to do, the hire to have diversity. It's about fairness. It's about representative democracy in government, and all Americans should support that.
Senator, what did you think of his statement that diversity isn't important and he took a shot at quotas? He doesn't like quotas. You mean to tell me that there's no qualified African-American public servants in Ohio, that the governor just can't find any?
Not only in Ohio, Ed, but dare I say the United States of America. And when he said that, that's why I made the offer to help him, and that's when he said, "I don't need your people." Again, if President Obama took this same stance and he said, "You know what, I'm going to have an all African-American cabinet," and when challenged, first of all, he wouldn't last 2 weeks, but when challenged, he said he didn't do quotas. The first thing as Americans we would say that is unfair and it is not right, and I would be the first to speak out against that. If, in fact, that standard is not good enough for our president, who would never articulate in that way, certainly it is not good enough for the state of Ohio. You know, Ed, I represent portions of the city of Cleveland. In the city of Cleveland, as you know, in 1968, we were the first city to elect the first African-American mayor, Mayor Carl B. Stokes. We appreciate and celebrate diversity and inclusion. Inclusion or exclusion anywhere is a threat to inclusion everywhere. It is not fair. It is not just.
What action do you anticipate taking as far as the Legislative Black Caucus if this is the way the cabinet is going to look?
Well, as far as the Ohio Legislative Black Caucus, our president, Representative Sandra Williams, and the rest of the caucus, we are prepared to take action, following the EEOC if necessary, filing with the Ohio Civil Rights Commission if necessary, and ultimately, if we find that this is a course of action that we need to take, hopefully we will not have to take this course of action, filing a lawsuit.
What is the public reaction to this story in Ohio? Is there outrage? Are you getting feedback?
It's been mixed, Ed, but I would have to say 80-20. A lot of it is outrage across ethnicities. But I will say that there is an element that believes, again, what the governor believes, that the hiring of people of color is somehow a quota and that they don't have the merits. You know, a lot of those cabinet positions, because one of the arguments that is being used is that there is a small pool of African Americans or other people of color who would fit his ideology. But a lot of those cabinet positions are administrators. They're not political. I mean, there's no Republican or Democratic way to provide mental health services, for example. So there has to absolutely be some qualified person of color in Ohio or in all of the United States who could be an administrator and provide services.
And I have to ask you, the question begs, do you think the governor of Ohio is a racist?
Well, I'm not sure, Ed. That is a question you need to ask him, but I will say that his actions so far certainly shows a strong insensitivity and appreciation for diversity. You know, our diversity is our strength, and we should embrace it.
Ohio State Senator Nina Turner, thank you for joining us tonight on The Ed Show.
Thank you, Ed, for having me.
Racist threats against a California state senator were bad enough, but now there have been more. And while Rush Limbaugh wants to hide from it or ignore it or even inflame it, the Reverend Al Sharpton will join us to suggest that something must be done about hate speech and its consequences. Plus,